Hey everybody, Asian Fahzaly Gamer here. I just want to take a second, put out a small disclaimer to let you all know that I am not a mental health professional. I just want to do my best to be able to help others with my own experience, and at the very least, hope to be able to point people in the right direction if they do need help. And of course, I also want to remind people that we do go into very heavy and potentially triggering subjects. So that is something to be considered. But I do appreciate your support for you being here. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this episode of Fahzaly Advice. Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fahzaly Advice. As always, I want to start this off by saying thank you to all of you for your support, for watching, and for enjoying. It truly does mean everything to me that you have taken time out of your day to watch, and that at the very least, hopefully, I have entertained in some way. And to those that have submitted, thank you so much for your submissions. Fahzaly Advice would not be able to be what it is without you. And I truly do appreciate all of you. And I hope that I have been able to help in some way, shape, or form. Now then, let's move on and start with our first submission of the day. This one is brought to us by a brother in the middle. And they write, "Hey Fahza, I'm having an issue with my older brother. I recently caught my older brother cheating on his soon-to-be wife with our mother's best friend. Yeah, I know, it sounds like a fucking sitcom or something, but it actually happened, and I am mortified. My soon-to-be sister-in-law is an amazing woman with a lot on her plate and a lot going for her. She just recently launched a new product as part of her business, and she is apparently expanding to be able to offer better deals to overseas vendors. Now, the thing is, I am only 19. And my brother doesn't even know that I know he was cheating. I honestly don't know what to do here, or what's even the right thing to do. So I ask you, Fahza, because you can be kind of a hard ass when it comes to being upfront and truthful. What would you do in this situation? Sincerely, a brother in the middle." Well, a brother in the middle. Thank you so much for trusting me with your conundrum. And I do hope that I will be able to help you with this particular situation. But I will preface this with, I may not be the best person to ask when it comes to this kind of situation, because, as you've stated, I can be kind of a hard ass and upfront when it comes to the truth. Because that's who I am. I was raised to remove subtext, because subtext is a manipulation. It is not part of the conversation of communication, and it doesn't aid in helping somebody speak their truth, to be true to who they are, and to be able to communicate what they are feeling and what they truly want to say. Subtext is just a layer of confusion that is unnecessary in communication. Of course, though, this is a personal opinion of mine. Now, I can tell you what I would have done if I were in your shoes in this situation, but I want you to consider a couple of things first. As you're listening, at the very least, consider your morals. What do you believe in? What matters to you? Because this should be your determining factor of what you should do. Because it's not about fulfilling the needs of others. It's not about worrying about the comfortability of others. This is your life. This is your time. And it's about being true to yourself and what you believe in. And if you believe in something, you should be able to stand up for it, despite who is against you or standing with you. Because it's not about making other people comfortable. It's about being yourself and seeing who's willing to stand with you while you are still being you, and seeing who's not willing to stand. Because those are the people that you need to stop paying attention to, and only consider those that are willing to stand with you while you're being yourself and believe in what you believe. Because your morals shouldn't be compromised just because of an opinion of somebody else. So what you believe in, what matters to you, will be the determining factor of how you should move forward. So consider that as we move forward with what I'm trying to say here in this particular situation, because this is a big situation. Honestly, it's kind of a mess, in all honesty. You caught your brother cheating. Not only did you catch your brother cheating, and they are going to be married soon, you caught them cheating with your mother's best friend. This is all a whole bunch of layers of indiscretion, and it's quite horrible. And I'm sorry that you are somebody that sadly got put into a position with this particular knowledge. Keep in mind, though, that the only person that is at fault for anything that is going to occur is your brother, for the indiscretion that they chose to do. If they choose to get mad at the truth being revealed, that speaks volumes to their character. And that in itself would be a problem. But we don't know what that situation is. We don't know what all of the situation here is. Either way, some of it is unimportant because your brother cheated. Rather than communicate with their significant other, whom they were about to be married to, that they either had doubts, that they didn't want to be together anymore, rather than being truthful, they decided to lie and be manipulative. And in that instance, that itself says a lot about your brother. And I'm sorry if you looked up to them, but like I said, it's a matter of what do you believe in. If being truthful, if being honest is something that matters to you, then damn be the consequences, because no matter what you do, if you say something, it will ruin everything in one way or another. But at the very least, the truth will be there, and everybody can make a decision knowing all of the information, rather than being manipulated by lies and being hidden. Because that is a situation that, well, the only real victim here at the moment is your soon-to-be sister-in-law. So, ask yourself, do you want to be truthful here? Do you want to say something? Because if you do, as I stated, your actions will have consequences. For good or for better or for worse, it doesn't matter. Every action we take will have a consequence. It's just part of life. We have to accept that. We have to be willing to accept the weight of what we do, no matter what it is. Because if you don't speak up now, there will be a relationship that is built upon that lie that is part of your family. And though it is not necessarily your problem, because it's not your life, will you be able to sleep at night knowing this? If you aren't, if you think it is something that you will toil over, then speak up. Free yourself of this, because it is unfair that you are burdened with it. And the only person who is to blame is your brother for having cheated. Not because you discovered them, not because you said something, because your brother cheated. That is the only issue here, and that is the only problem here. Never think, and do not allow your brother to say that you caused this. If you do choose to speak the truth, you will need to remind your brother that you didn't cause anything. You simply stood up for what you thought was right. But you are not the one who cheated. Your brother is. They are the one that is in the wrong here. Now, when it comes to what I would do in this situation, as I stated, I am somebody who has lived with removing subtext from my life. So I speak my mind, and I mean what I say. And in the instance of having caught them, that would be the instance that everybody involved would have been told the truth. Because I don't stand by for that kind of nonsense. I don't care if they're my friend. I don't care if they're a family member. If you cheat, I will not allow anyone to be the victim of that and continue on. The truth will be known. That is the kind of person that I am. And be it some people might see me as meddlesome, I see it more of like, it's your fault for cheating. How about don't fucking cheat? Then there won't be a problem. It's like the saying goes, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. So consider that, brother in the middle, when it comes to what you're going to do moving forward here. And remember that you are not the cause of the problem. You are the victim, having been burdened with your brother's indiscretion because your brother couldn't keep it in their pants. It's something that I never really understood. Cheating is something that never makes sense to me. Because if you don't want to be in the relationship, end the freaking relationship. If you cared about that person in any way, shape, or form to begin with, then you should be able to communicate with them that you don't want to be with them anymore. Anything else is nothing more than a weak, sad, piteous lie that deserves nothing more than the full weight of the consequences that come with it. Now, I apologize if I was not able to give you an answer that you were looking for. That if you were looking for something more, the best I can tell you is to stay true to yourself and what you believe in. And I know that sounds quite cliche, but there's a reason why it's said in many instances of life. Staying true to who you are is what matters in this life, because this is your life. So why compromise for anybody else? Think about that. So I do hope that I was able to help, and at the very least, point you in the right direction, a brother in the middle. And I thank you for your submission. And to the viewers, thank you. And I hope that you have found value in my words for this first submission. Now, before we move on to the second submission, let's have a word from our sponsor, me.
Well, hey everybody. Did you know that Agent Fahzaly Gamer has a Patreon?
That's right, and Random Skull is here to help tell you about it.
And that's right, we're doing this announcement together.
And when you subscribe to Patreon, you get to see content early, and of course, make requests for content on YouTube, and even on Twitch and TikTok. It's all up to you.
And of course, if you want to support Agent Fahzaly Gamer, check out these links. And of course, there are also links in the link tree.
And remember, when you subscribe to Patreon, you can also leave a message saying that Random Skull is better than Mr. Announcer.
Now, was that even really necessary? Well, hey there everybody, Mr. Announcer and...
Random Skull?
And we're here to let you know that Asian Faja Gamer also streams live on Twitch 5 days a week and sometimes on YouTube.
And if you want to continue to support Asian Faja Gamer, check out the links for his Twitch and his YouTube, all in the link tree.
That's right. Check out those links.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our first segment, and of course, thank you to our first submitter. Truly do appreciate you. Now, let's move on to our second submission, which is brought to us by Unwanted Legacies. And they write, Dear Faja, I am failing college, and I really just don't give a shit. I know this sounds really bad, but that's the truth. I just don't care. I never wanted to go to school to learn advertisement and business management. I never wanted to step in my father's footsteps and run his stupid business. No one, not a single fucking person cares though. They don't care that I wanted to go to school for computer science and development. I even got a scholarship to go to the school that I wanted to, but my parents demanded that I go to the school that they chose. So I agreed because I felt trapped, and at the time I didn't have the means to take care of myself. Well, over the past 2 years, that has changed. I have gotten a job in the field that I wanted to go to school for, and have steadily risen in the ranks to a point where I am completely financially stable. This was all at the cost of my college education, which I never cared for. My question to you is, does this make me a bad son? Sincerely, Unwanted Legacies. Oh dear. So, this one's a little bit of a doozy. Now, Unwanted Legacies. First off, thank you for trusting me with your conundrum. Now, I'm gonna have a few unpopular opinions here. Now, some people might agree and say that you are a bad son, that you should be grateful that your parents wanted you to go to this school, that your father wanted to give you a legacy of success. But here's where I stand. Parents like this are the absolute worst. Parents who force you to step into a role that you never wanted without respecting a very important aspect: your autonomy as a human being. Because you are not your father, you are not your mother's expectations, and you are not alive to fulfill expectations. You're not a product, and you're not here to make them feel good. This is your life, and you should live it as you see fit. And if your parents not accept that, well, they can go boil their heads in fat, because who gives a fuck? Your parents should not be there to control you. Parents are not there to have you fulfill their dreams because they think you were born as a product. Because you're not. And anybody who wants to argue against and say that he should want to step into those footsteps, he should want to run his father's stupid business. No, he shouldn't. If he wanted to and it was his choice, then yes. But if it is not his choice, then no. And I am absolutely and utterly appalled to hear that your parents forced you to give up a scholarship simply to go to the school that they wanted you to go to, simply because they wanted to control your career path, without even understanding that computer science and development is, in my opinion, in all honesty, one of the most important industries to get into today. We are living in a technological world, and it is continuously growing, and the need to understand that is apparent. And the fact that we have people that want to get into that field, why would you dissuade that? What parent would take away the opportunity for their child to actually do what they would want to do and take away a scholarship just because of their egotism of wanting their son to be a progeny rather than to be their son and a person who is alive? It is sickening how many parents think that kids are born to fulfill their needs. No. A parent's job is to love, to protect, and to guide. Nowhere in that is there control or manipulation or your wants or needs. As a parent, your wants or needs matter to you. And as an adult, you should be able to fulfill them, not expect your child to fulfill them for you. That is a disgusting way to think. And any parent who thinks in that way should feel ashamed of themselves. And though this may be an opinion, this is an opinion that I vehemently believe in. And that anybody who thinks that a child is born only to fulfill the needs of the family, go back to the 1700s or the 1600s. Go back to the colonial times where you belong and live in the dysentery and the filth of those ages. Because if you cannot understand that your child is born as a living being with their own autonomy, their own path, their own experiences, and that they are not born for you. They may be born because of you, but that's it. Unwanted Legacies, I am so sorry that you had to be put in this position. But I'm also happy to hear that you, despite it, found a way forward to do something that you wanted. Still rise in something that you dreamed of doing. Does this make you a bad son? No, it doesn't. Keep chasing after what you want. Keep going for it. Because the only person that's bad here are your parents. If anybody is going to argue about, oh, they put a financial investment. A financial investment means that you are willing to quantify your child's life into cash. What monster would do that? Anybody who would be willing to do that is not a parent. They're an accountant. A parent does not view their child by the quantified finances that they could provide or that they offered and are owed. Your child doesn't owe you jack fucking shit for being born and having to be raised by you. You, Unwanted Legacies, do not owe your parents anything for being born. You don't. You are alive. Just because your parents decided to have happy squishy time in the bedroom and have a kid doesn't mean that you are indebted to them for the rest of your life. You can be grateful, but that doesn't mean you have to do what they want. It doesn't mean that you are some tool to be controlled and manipulated. Unwanted Legacies, you are a person with autonomy, with your own agency. Don't ever let anyone take that away from you. And do not feel guilty for finding your path and fulfilling your goals that you wanted. Your parents' goals are theirs and theirs alone, and if they were unable to fulfill them, that is their failure, not yours. Don't shoulder the weight of the failure of the previous generation just because they wanted to put it upon you because they weren't able to do anything about it. Not your fault that your parents weren't able to reach the success that they wanted. And if they believe that in any way, shape, or form, they're monsters. And you should stay far away from them. And I know that might hurt. And I know there are people out there that won't agree with what I'm saying here when it comes to family. Blood doesn't mean anything. The only thing blood matters towards is the medical records and for, well, self-knowledge. But that doesn't mean that you have to stay with them, to stick with them, or stay near them, or even care about them if all they're willing to do is look at you as a product and tell you that you're a disappointment because you didn't do what they wanted you to do while you're still succeeding at what you love doing. If they can't be proud of you, it's their failing. Because hell, I don't even know you, Unwanted Legacies, and to hear that you were able to overcome the cage that your parents put you in and still find success the way that you wanted to, I'm proud of you. And I hope you are proud of yourself because you deserve to be celebrated. You broke past the cage of legacies. Be yourself and define that success that is unique to you. Be proud of that. All right? I hope that I was able to help and that you found value in what I said, Unwanted Legacies. And I thank you for your submission. I truly do. And to my viewers, I appreciate you and I thank you as well. And if you enjoyed, if you found value, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And of course, love train rolling on through. Choo choo. I love every single freaking one of you.
Well, everybody, that's the end of Fahzaly Advice. I hope you did enjoy this episode and you found some value in what I said. And of course, if you are interested in participating, if you need some advice or some perspective, feel free to email the address at the end of this part. And remember, all submissions are 100% anonymous. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Need some perspective? Need some advice? Want your submission read on podcast? Well, email Fahza at fahzalyadvice@gmail.com. And remember, all submissions are 100% anonymous unless requested upon.